I always heard her saying, no, I've been to my mum's, and she just couldn't do enough for you all the time. The morning my dad died, I texted Joanne and told her what had happened. I said I didn't want to speak to anybody. But of course, like, in the afternoon, there was a knock on the door and Joanne was stood there. She's like, oh, I hope you don't mind me coming, but I just need to see you. And she was just there for me. We didn't even hardly speak. I laid on the settee, up my head on her knee, and I just fell asleep. She was just always there. She didn't have to say anything. She was my rock. I feel like I've got my left arm chopped off sometimes. No matter how much I'll read it, and it's like I try to put it in my brain, like, she has gone, Melanie, you know. I feel like I can't cry, so it's like it still hasn't hit me. It's so weird.
When somebody dies normally of an illness, you accept it more because you know why they've died. With Joanne, we don't know why. We don't know why he did that, and I think that's the worst thing.
The bad thing is we'll never know as well, because you'll never know what went through his mind. He can say anything. I think she'd want to be remembered as being, there was not a single bad burn in her body. She was a girl who really loved life.
Well, thank you to Joanne's friends, Gemma, Natalie and Melanie, for sharing their memories of their best friend. So what of Paul Dyson? To Joanne's family, he seemed a loving boyfriend who adored her and wanted to get married. The couple had already made plans for their wedding in Mexico next year. But in fact, Dyson was hiding a violent past, and he proved to be an accomplished liar who deceived Joanne's family after killing their daughter.
As a teenager, Paul Dyson found a way to channel his aggression. A victim of school bullies, he got involved in jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. He kept up his training into his 20s, and those that knew him down the gym describe him as just a regular kid. But when he got work as a bouncer, his interest moved to bodybuilding, and he began to revel in the image of a tough doorman. Even then, Paul Dyson had something of a reputation as a liar. He worked as a bouncer in several pubs and clubs in Hull and used to exaggerate to his friends about the fights that he got into. He idolised his father, who'd been jailed in the 60s for manslaughter. Paul used to tell people his dad had worked for the Krays, but no one really knew if that was true. Despite a turbulent first marriage, he found stability with Joanne. He seemed besotted with her, and neither her friends or family ever suspected the violence and deceit which lay behind his 999 call to police on Valentine's Day.
Hello there. My fiancée, I don't know where she is. I was trying to report somebody missing.
What's her name, please?
It's John Nelson. John Jean Nelson.
During a 14-minute phone call, Dyson gave a convincing account of Joanne's disappearance. He played the part of the worried boyfriend, and all the time he was speaking to the police, Joanne's parents were sitting right with him.
I'm assuming she's been to work and that, but it's just that the car's parked further up the road and the doors are unlocked. I've been trying to get hold of her on the phone since I've got in. There's no answer. Nobody seems to know I had no air of her.
It was parked further up the street and all the doors are unlocked.
Yeah.
Do you know the reg?
Does anybody know the registration?
Who's out there with you?
Her mum and dad.
Right. Has there been any arguments or anything, or should you press?
No, there's nothing like that. I mean, it's just completely out of character for her.
At first, Joanne's disappearance was treated routinely, but the fact that it was so out of character worried the police. As they stepped up their inquiry and began to search the area around her home, her boyfriend was carrying on with his deception. This time he gave an interview to Look North.
Monday morning, because I couldn't get Valentine's Day off, we swapped cards upstairs. I gave her a kiss and a cuddle, got ready for work. And she was going to get her head down for another hour or so.
What does Joanne mean to you?
She's the only person I truly love. I want to know where she is. I want her back.
But Paul Dyson knew Joanne wasn't coming back. The day before Valentine's Day, in that very room, he'd killed her.
Well, Paul Dyson may have managed to hide his temper from Joanne's family, but the warning signs were there. One woman certainly knew what he was capable of, and that was his ex-wife Jenny Clark, the mother of Dyson's young daughter Chloe. Tonight, she tells her story for the first time. We've used an actress to reconstruct Jenny's words and experiences.
When we first met, he was a doorman and I was a barmaid.